nothing else, similar to this one, to make people want to play it. Because I think they could have done it in a creative way to say like, hey, there was this other game, let's check it out, you know? And especially for the Axel fans, you know, because he's a pretty cool character in that one.
They could have avoided that problem by just releasing the game on a better system to begin with.
Well, I think that was one of the reasons they ended up remaking it. You know, I didn't play Chain of Memories when it first came out, because I heard that the graphics looked unimaginative, even though they were 2D, you know, it was kind of repetitive. I heard the art system wasn't that good, but I never really mentioned how good the storyline was.
The storyline was great, it's just getting through it was
Horrible.
Yeah, and the cards, honestly, the battle system was crap. The story was good. It was fighting your way through the story. That made it such an annoying game. You know, great story, it's just, it was really hard to get through it. It's like, you want to get to the next one, you
I like the
can't.
graphics issue that game, but I couldn't get the game was dirty.
The problem for me really with that was I persevered through it, and I appreciated it at the same time just how unique it was. You know, like one of the most common criticisms of Kingdom Hearts, besides that it's childish, which it isn't, is that they all play the same. Not a single Kingdom Hearts game has the same gameplay as any other one, except for the very basic notion of hitting things with the keyblade. All the games have completely different gameplay. And if you're going to use that logic to say it's the same, well then I say like every first-person shooter is the same.
Literally, well, first one shooters aren't the same.
They haven't written new code for an FPS in years.
That's a good but because they're popular, it's tolerant, whereas, you know, they're just kind of looking for an excuse for Kingdom Hearts and but Chain of Memories, it was, you know, I played it again on the Game Boy Advance, and unfortunately my PlayStation 2 is broken right now, so I can't play Chain of Memories. And it was tougher to like, you know, I tried to mess more with some of the more advanced combos and stuff like that. The problem is once you get it, some of them like Mushu's Fire Breath, they just kill everything really easily. And the game
that's a problem, pal.
Chain of Memories?
Burning with fire?
That's not a game I played for game.
Burning with fire.
well, yeah, this is in Chain of Memories, but at the same time, because it doesn't really work that well in the organization battle. The organization battle is really well designed in that game because they use attacks that cover the whole screen. So you have to use card canceling to get past them well. You have to use the dodge roll very well. The dodge roll is kind of meaningless in the 3D Kingdom Hearts games, but in Chain of Memories, it's a very important move to use, especially if you're playing on the higher
The only reason I could even hope to beat any of the optional bosses in Birth by Sleep.
Oh yeah,
The that was dodge rolling. It was just like that was that one I did at the battle.
Go behind the rock.
Yeah, that little technique you gotta do.
Okay, speaking of very gameplay, has anyone gone through or started recoding yet?
Yeah.
I
What
beat
do you
it.
think of the varied gameplay in different worlds?
I love that.
Okay, I'm not the only one.
Olympus Coliseum,
I thought that
the
was
Final,
great. Oh,
yes,
Final
the
Fantasy
Final
style.
I hated
He
Olympus.
hated Olympus. I loved it.
I love
I'm just
it.
not a fan of that turn-based
Yeah.
Final Fantasy thing.
to me
I
that's
like the different layers and how like the room itself affects the difficulty of the battle.
Yeah.
That was fun.
To me, it sounds pretty cool, and it was a nice upgrade because it was originally just a cell phone game where it was pretty simplistic. And again, I think it distracts, unfortunately, from the somewhat reused nature of the graphics. I'm told the music isn't totally reused, but there's a lot of the
They
same.
reused a lot of it. What they did was they made it a little bit more techno and added the bass beat simply because it's supposed to be in a computer, so they made it sound a little more techno.
Nice.
They did reuse a lot of it.
Oh yeah, except for this is that's
The
the
system sectors all get.
Well, right, they got new music because that's not a world
Never
they've
used
been
that.
in before.
Although they could have copped out and used Tron's music, but I'm really glad they didn't.
Tron-
Yeah.
The whole thing just felt like Tron,
In
really.
addition to me being my favorite world, you know, by far, Tron was just so, I thought it was imaginative how they did it. Plus, much like Nightmare Before Christmas in the original, it just seemed like such an odd choice. And I know everybody initially said that Pirates of the Caribbean was the odd choice out, but as I have a question here about that shows it wasn't
Sorry,
quite
I think
as-
Lion King is the odd choice out.
Maybe level wise, but you know, he was in the first game too, so it wasn't like a totally out of left field choice like some like how Nightmare was and Pirates of the Caribbean in the second game. But I think Tron was ultimately very
Tron
fun.
was the other. Okay, let's
That was the one that I never heard of. I had to go find a movie that.
That's right. I had to go download like a movie at the last minute.
Like, wait, what the hell?
What is Tron?
That and
They're coming out with a sequel for it, what?
I saw parts of it. Never saw the entire thing.
This is
I
another,
saw Disney World years ago when I was a kid because it was playing there.
This is another thing from Final Mix that, you know, they have translations online, but I thought this one was particularly good because of how it talks about how Ansem is different also from the other guys. And this was only available in Final Mix because everyone tries to be somewhat forensic about the series, you know, like thinking ahead.
That's why I
but I don't care what anybody says. When you first saw Zen Anson in the first game, you thought he was a man, didn't you?
Who?
Anson, the Secret of Darkness, he's the boss of the game.
I
Like-
he was a heartless, just a new.
Like, you thought he was a heartless? Really? You didn't think he was a man?
I knew he was. I knew he was originally a man. I just saw him and I'm like, okay, this is a guy who somehow turned his heartless creating thing to like
To
make a
serve
heartless inside of him. And he merged with it, so like he
Okay.
shoved heartless in him, and now.
Yeah, you're like halfway there, it's true, but the point is, no one thought that that was his heartless form, which, is much like this says. This is like a tribute, which is a sign of the strength of his heart, because it does affect how you end up looking as a heartless. That's why, despite Axel fans, they wanted to come back, there's no indication that any of the heartless, becoming a nobody does require a strong heart connection, but there's no indication that you're conversely that you'll make a strong heartless. Yeah, so there you are. So they could just easily become all shadows or something like that. They don't necessarily have to be like the huge bosses or anything like that. So that might work in favor of the storyline for an easy explanation. It's like, oh yeah, Axel was that 550-second shadow that Sora killed in the Battle of the Thousand Heartless. So he'll come back if they want to.
It's
If
interesting.
not,
The shadows are. If you go through the entire game, there's only like 4 types of pure heartless. So it really doesn't mean that a new heartless has to look like you or something unique. There's only like 4: the shadows, neo shadows, soldiers.
Soldier,
No,
I
they're
love.
not.
They're not.
Dark balls,
Invisibles
are,
and Invisibles and the giant things. One of those.
The dark sides.
Yeah, the dark side. So there's like 4 pure heartless, and
There's a couple more than that, but I see your point, yeah.
so
it's something that they really need, like they got plenty of time, and I don't care, everyone wants Kingdom Hearts 3. I do not want Kingdom Hearts 3. I want them to take, StarCraft 2 amount of time to make that game. Take 12 years, take 15 years, do whatever you need to make it the most, make it the most awesome
There's going to be
game.
a new Kingdom Hearts game every year.
Of course, everyone knows StarCraft 2 was because World of Warcraft was such a cash cow, so they weren't rushing that, but it turned out great, and I think they need to do the same thing with Kingdom Hearts 3. Take their time, come up with something unique, think of all those storyline possibilities. So the point I'm trying to make is that there's still so much time in the 9-year span to make more games, not just talking about Aqua, saying the realm of darkness, but they need to talk more about how the organization came to be, what the purpose of Emblem Heartless are, because I still don't know.
Yeah.
Is that just
Like,
another
oh, we
way of
created
saying
this
to
Heartless.
control the Heartless? Because it's clear that he wants people to kill the Heartless, so I don't see how creating a race of Heartless benefits him at all.
There needs
Other than being able to have more Heartless to go out there, steal parts so that they can be destroyed by the Keyblade and ultimately create the fake Kingdom Hearts.
you made a machine that makes heartless. What are you gonna do with it?
But at the same
What if
time,
you make a machine that just go buddies?
You make a machine that makes cupcakes. You're gonna make a million cupcakes.
there
I
really
just hope it's not such a simple explanation. It seems like he's just defining his character, just thinking of something else with that in mind.
there really needs to be a game like when Organization 13 first starts up, like however many years previous to Kingdom Hearts 1 that
The
was.
assembly.
Yeah, no one's
Yeah.
exactly sure because the only hints really to that are in Final Mix 2 where Zigbar is talking to Zexon and he talks about how he just found Marusha, and it's not clear exactly when that happened. The only real one we know obviously is Roxas didn't do that game about how long it's been.
And we have to
It was an
assume that
organization
the 6 original assistants to Ansem the Wise, they all started the organization right there.
Yeah. I mean, it's accepted that like 358 is about 172 days or something. So that's how long Roxas was in the organization. Maybe give or take another, I don't know, 20 days or so before he was captured by Diz, And,
It was 358 days. He was captured on the 358.
But he slept through a lot of them.
yeah, so
Yeah, he
it's like,
wasn't awake for all. But then 7 days later, Kingdom Hearts 2 started. That's why.
that's something that, but before the game came out, a lot of people talked about that, the divided by 2 part, and I don't know if that was actually accepted by the game. That,
I think it just meant that he was, people have been calling it 358 and a half. So I was under the impression that he was as a nobody for 358 and 1/2 days, and through the middle of the 359th day is when he was caught by Diz. So
Or that he was half a person for 358 days.
yeah, that's possible too. It's just, I don't
they never explained it, so
There was a report that said that, okay, we're going to explain it. It's a secret code that you will understand by the end of the game. I'm still searching for that secret code that will explain it.
I'm thinking it just meant
yeah, and what the over 2 part, I think is what got people thinking of 2008. artistic symbolism, like you said, but there's still, the point is, take your time with Kingdom Hearts 3, because there's still plenty of storyline potential, and it's Birth by Sleep another show. I know, yes, Recoded is, there are some relevant things that happen in the plot, but it's not as significant as, say, Birth by Sleep.
I would not say Recoded has any relevant story. You don't have to play it to follow the main Kingdom Hearts storyline. It's
Just
just a side
The
game.
only
Watch
thing
the
is
ending
it's a
movie.
secret movie.
That's about
and
it.
it sets it.
Yeah, it's a wonderful little side game. It just has nothing to do with the main Kingdom Hearts plot.
Okay, so maybe that is the first one that really just to maybe explore stuff from a different angle. And that's what I want. I mean, it's been suggested from, like when I first saw the secret ending in Birth by Sleep Final Mix, I didn't think much of it. This Blank Points was so much better, where they talked for 8 minutes, where she first met Ensign the Wise and stuff like that, and we talked about finding the bottle in Kingdom Hearts 2. But even though it's only about 3 minutes in Final Mix, it's still very important because it shows what Aqua has to go through during at least 9 years relative to the regular span of time. Who knows how fast the time, the realm of darkness really works. Yeah, the only hints are is that all the people who have been in the realm of darkness have not really been there that long. And that's one of the things that's not clear about Ansem the Wise, about how long he's actually been there.
But he's been there at least twice.
Yeah. Then there's also what's known as the realm of nothingness, which is not the same thing as far as I'm pretty sure. That's the one where, that's the reason why everybody is scared of Zemnis in the organization, because they're afraid that they'll either turn you into a dust or send you there. Like, I think Vexen famously says it in Chain of Memories, when they refer to, they're still referring to him as a superior, he says like, no, don't tell the superior, and that's what he's afraid of without. Because not only is Zemnis stronger than every other member of the organization, because he has the power over nothingness. I believe that's what he can do. And I know it's confirmed that he at least has control over it, because he tried to send Sora there, and he did send Ansem the Wise there shortly after the Nobodies were first created. I don't know how long he was there, or how he got out, but
Probably
there's still so much
realm
more
of
to talk
darkness,
about.
because that's the only reason I can explain that.
But we do agree the realm of nothingness is different than the realm of darkness, right? Because the realm of darkness, another way to,
It's like the Dark Meridian.
yeah, so is that the quarters of darkness, or is it?
I don't think the Quarters of Darkness is the same thing. I think the Dark
Worlds of
Meridian
darkness
is.
are the empty space between worlds. The worlds are effectively masses of light. Quarters of darkness are everything that is not a world.
There's some,
The realm of darkness is effectively everything that is not a world. So it's kind of just the opposite of worlds.
that's why Kingdom Hearts is so much fun. You can just talk endlessly about it. You all got theories, you know? Yeah. But that's why it's not just, and speaking from an industry point of view, because I'm a game journalist, so it's very unlikely that we'll be seeing Kingdom Hearts 3 before 2014 or 2015, because simply of how the nature of how press releases work. We haven't heard anything or 2012, so it's definitely not going to come out this year. And usually, due to the 6 to 9 month cycle, you know, between Japan and Japanese releases, it does not looking like we'll even see it maybe at the end of 2013 for Japan, but that's even not looking like.
Well, I was really surprised that Recoded came out as soon after Birth by Sleep as it did.
Yeah.
I know,
And I think the only reason they did that was so that you had to wait an entire year. It's like, okay, we met our quota for the new year, you know. Kingdom Hearts came out 2011. Okay, now we can actually put more effort into.
yeah, you're
figuring
cynical,
out
but
distance.
but speaking, you know, realistically like that, it's also the fact that, you know, pretty much the entire Kingdom Hearts team is working on a Geno 13, so no one knows where that game is. So I'm pretty sure they said that because they're concentrating on that one. I mean, who wouldn't want to make Final Fantasy 13 better? They haven't started on Kingdom Hearts 3 from what I understand, because that's what they want a dedicated team. Because one of the weaknesses of Squaresoft recently, like the last 5-10 years, is they kind of try and portion out things to other teams not talented and who are not quite as talented, and it hurts some of their games, like Final Fantasy 14, for instance. It's not like losing Sakaguchi was the end of the company. It's just they try and take on too much at the same time. I think they don't want to make that mistake with Kingdom Hearts 3. So that's why I say to them,
You're pissed off.
that's why I say to them, I don't care how much it's annoying people that's not out yet. Take your time, because it will, as Miyamoto.
As long as it is an amazing game, when all said and done, and it gives you that thrill you want that Kingdom Hearts is known for, then it's fine.
Yeah.
But if they make you wait forever and then produce a crappy game, that's what's going to piss everybody off.
Everything's very possible in this day and age.
See, and that's what we were talking about. I mean, like Shigeru Miyamoto once said, a delayed game is only bad until it's released. A bad game is bad forever.
Right.
You know? Yeah, so actually move on. I forgot this panel is actually over 11:50. I guess they just wanted to. Now this is just me having some fun pointing out some more coincidences. Similarities to Birth by Sleep. Because I've always liked Zigbar, but I think I like him even more now because of how much fun Bray has in the game.
That's right. Used to give me that same exact look.
I guess you think you can psych me out by saying really random stuff.
Gee, I just don't know.
Pause there for dramatic effect. Oh, not working.
You a good boy now?
I like how he's like that's not debatable at all. He's obviously talking about Ventus, and just the way he talks to Ventus is so much fun.
Have you been a good boy?
Show yourself!
Bray technically did meet again.
Oh,
Yeah.
it sounds like you haven't. Sora!
Yeah.
Roxas!
Roxas?
He's just messing with him for no reason.
Hey, did he just call me Roxas?
You really put Organization 13 in a pickle. I guess that must be why the Keyblade chose you. But man, did it pick a dud this time. You don't look like you're half the hero the others were.
Are you done rambling?
Rambling, as if. All I'm trying to tell you, traitor, is that your time is up.
It's
It's now to know that there were at least 5.
Here he comes!
well, that's even before Bray's time. Like it's accepted. Like even if you take on the new form of Terror, he was probably about 29 or something like that.
Really? I was gonna go with like 19.
Okay, well, his character's probably in his 30s now, in the relative
yeah.
timeline. Bray is probably right around that age also, because he was the only one who pretty much knew Master Xehanort before he had transferred his
Yeah.
consciousness.
Well, Bray was still older than Terra, I would assume.
He
But
most
not as
likely
old
is
as
the
Xehanort,
oldest one.
so.
Xehanort was ancient. No one was older than Xehanort.
I don't even think Yin said he's older than
He can
Xehanort.
fight 3 of them with one hand, so.
I said he was ancient, not that he wasn't so powerful.
Older than Uncle Scroogey.
He's Kung Fu guy. I mean, Kung Fu people are getting more powerful with age. The direct paradox to everything else.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to fix any of my questions. No, we're fine.
Makes Earthbender's avatar really bad.
No, the
But I think it was.
best part about
that,
Xehanort is he's always
that's something
going
else
like.
that he talked about because it's not clear how much he told Bray, but he obviously had to tell him something. Like he gets mad at him when his eye gets damaged and stuff like that, but Xehanort puts him in his place. So if nothing else, it's clear that he knows that, as in the secret ending, that Xemnas, Tarot, whatever you want to call him, he doesn't want to restore Kingdom Hearts to give him, the hearts back. So you have to wonder how much he told Bray of what his true plan was. Because if anyone knows besides Xehanort, obviously it is Bray.
Even though Sykes was
Possibly Sykes, yeah.
Well, there's still more to tell about that, because him and Axel were best friends, and then they kind of had a falling out. So what was it that Syax did to possibly one-up Zigbar that made Xemnas trust Syax more, as the taskmaster?
It might not have even been trusting. It may have just been like, I need someone to do the day-to-day stuff, and Zigbar can't take notes for shit, Sykes.